Conscious collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, changemakers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily. And together we are the Conscious Collaboration Podcast, among other things.
Yes, and we actually got to get together over the weekend. That was super fun.
Yeah, we reconfirmed that we're actually both real live people.
Yes, we live in the same area and and yet we don't get to see each other very often. And I think that ties in perfectly with what we're talking about today.
Yeah, it does. And it's also a really great plug for I am such a fan of a day party.
Mm-hmm.
Context being that's where we saw each other this past weekend, and another conscious collaborator of ours had not one but two parties in a row in the same day.
Before the sun even went down.
It's an anniversary party for her and her husband, and then they went on to enjoy a birthday party. So Lisa and I made the day party, and I was just so delighted to be able to kind of scratch that itch and meet new people and use my social battery, get dressed up, take a little walk around the downtown area in my cute clothes and all that, and be home in time to eat my meal prepped dinner and enjoy a beautiful, what I have come to refer to as luxury bedtime on a Saturday evening. So all that is to say, I'm a big fan of day parties. If you're going to have a party, just consider having a day party.
So funny. And I so much enjoyed that. Like, it was so nice, 2 p.m. start time versus 10 p.m. start time.
Yeah, when we would have been maybe pre-gaming to go out in our previous
lives.
But we got that out of our system.
Yeah, it was fun. And we learned a lot too. We learned a new alcoholic beverage that I think was good.
We did. So this is yet for me to have gone off on a side quest and validated, but allegedly, supposedly, blue agave tequila specifically is supposed to be in many ways sort of the least offensive in terms of alcohol that you can put into your body. So I will say, anecdotally, after the one time trying blue agave tequila, I felt no negative consequences. I mean, I didn't have much by any stretch, but it doesn't take me much nowadays. So I felt no negative consequences from that blue agave tequila. I
don't know if it was mental or not, but it worked. It didn't feel like any, it didn't feel overly sugared or anything like that.
Right. Well, and I think in a lot of ways, if you do choose to drink alcohol at any point, I think that the intention going into it has a huge effect on how you feel from it.
True.
I mean, of course, there is a limit. If you just consume a ridiculous amount of alcohol, it doesn't matter whether you went into it intentionally and I mean, with the intention, I mean, okay, we've maybe historically all experienced a time where we're just like, I'm going to get fucked up. And if that's your intention going into it, that's probably what's going to happen, right?
Right.
If you're just
You want to have
just lighthearted,
and
celebrating a good time with friends. Like it tends to just kind of settle better. And maybe that's because of the oxytocin and other things
Mhm.
going on when you're, sort of in that state. But I believe that has a big effect on how
Yeah, and
alcohol.
it was a neat environment too. Like what was that place called? It was like the shipwreck?
The ship's hold,
Ship's Hold. Oh, that's more
which
better than wreck.
it felt like
Ship's
an
Hold.
accurate description of where we were, like zero light.
Yes.
Day party it was, but like
Did you
you
feel
had
like
no
when we
idea.
opened the door, it was like a grand entrance
Yeah,
of
I was like,
sunshine?
ah!
Everyone's like, oh, too much sun.
Yeah,
Close the
definitely
door.
felt like you were below deck on a ship. But
Yeah, that was a cute little hidden gem.
yeah,
I couldn't
literally
find it.
hidden. Lisa was
Couldn't
standing
standing
out
right
front
outside
like,
of it.
"Oh, this place."
I was trying to put like the GPS on to find it, and I was standing directly in front of
Like,
it.
are you dumb?
Well, you know what? Like
You
there
were
was,
standing on the dot.
I didn't see a sign except for like a paper sign on the door that I
Right.
think it said open or,
Yeah.
or private party or something on it. Like, oh, that must be it.
Not there. Interesting.
But it looked a little scary. That little stretch there is a little sketch looking.
Well, it just goes to show sometimes the best things are behind the doors that we're
That's right.
see
Yeah,
how deep
so
I got here. So I mean that does somewhat segue into today's
mhm,
topic, which I just kind of got some loose inspo for. Really, for me, this is something that I've been working on for a while now, just as like an overarching theme of personal development. But um and we've talked about it before in different contexts, but really this idea of like, I don't know, I'm still kind of kicking around a good phrase for it, but it's like ethical selfishness, or um you know kind of trying to distinguish between like not necessarily being self-serving, not being self-serving in a way that could be harmful or detract from others' benefit,
mhm.
but being
Permission to indulge for the
selfish.
greater good.
Yeah, well, in being selfish in basically filling your own cup in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
uh, but where maybe we've been programmed to believe that this is harmful to other people or we shouldn't or whatever it is. Rather, if you make a practice of being selfish in that way, it actually positively benefits really everyone in your life, people that you have relationships with, all the way to just people like in my case that I would encounter, that I'll encounter in my work environment.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
beyond even just people I casually encounter at whatever, a coffee shop or something, just because you know if your cup is full and your mood is
Mhm.
good and your feeling within is of vitality, then you're gonna be a more pleasant person to deal with and interact with in every interaction
Yeah.
with every other person. So this can show up in so many different ways, as we were already, I mean, we already kind of got into this to a chunky amount in the pre-chat, but so the example that I came across was of, okay, the person who was talking about going to get a facial, and there's a part where like the esthetician puts maybe some essential oil on her hands and kind of rubs her hands close
Mhm.
to the woman's face and tells her to take some deep breaths. And the woman caught herself sort of taking very shallow, quick breaths because it was like she didn't want to inconvenience the woman. And we're like,
Right.
no, like this, and this is, it's small, but also a bit more of a obvious or extreme example because she's literally in a situation where she is supposed to be indulging in herself.
Right.
She's paying to indulge in herself and still just kind of finding that natural
Well,
inclination to like shrink a little bit and not put this other person out.
you use the word like in our pre-chat, like being polite in a way that's actually a little bit like offensive in a way. And not on purpose, but like especially women,
Mm-hmm.
you were saying, like
Mm-hmm.
women, we have a tendency to be like, oh, don't go out of your way. I'll do it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But in that instance, and I get my monthly facial, my favorite part is breathing in the essential oils or, whatever treatment they're doing in the beginning. And I think sometimes that's like the first time I've taken a big deep breath that day sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
love that part. But I think also at the same time, like if I were to restrict that, thinking I'm being polite, my esthetician would be like a little bit disappointed because she's created this experience and I'm not
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Like not. Yeah, or to say, yeah, and we're kind of getting into a similar but different concept of just like be receiving and
Hmm.
your ability
Hmm.
to receive and find yourself worthy and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, when you are trying to give somebody something or do something for somebody and they're like, oh no, like I couldn't, like that's kind of upsetting to the person trying to do the giving, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh wow, they're so unselfish because they don't want to
Right.
accept my
Here's your gold
offer.
sticker for not fully
Yeah,
breathing
like it's
during.
not, and we can kind of get on these thought loops, and it's certainly not malicious, but we're not really doing anybody any favors by taking that
Yeah.
seemingly more
I don't know
polite.
where that comes from at all. Like it makes me think about like my mom incessantly offers everything to everybody. Like, if a service guy would ever come to the house, she'd be like, "Oh, would you like some iced tea or water?" And then he would be like, "No, I've got water in the car or something like that, or I've already had water." And she would like, it would hurt her feelings because she liked to, I guess it's also like a Southern thing, but we weren't in the
Yeah,
same,
I'm on
yeah.
this other thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so, I mean, and it makes me feel good to like, um, you know, I don't know that I necessarily get insulted or something if someone doesn't receive something that I want to give, but it definitely feels good. And I think it contributes to a better, you know, appointment if it's a work thing or
For
a
sure. And
service
it's
thing.
not just about like giving and receiving gifts, right? Because that
Mhm.
you can get into a whole conversation about people kind of forcibly trying to give stuff that you don't need or want,
Right.
and
Right.
what that's about. But yeah, this is really more about like making the choice that might feel selfish often,
Mhm.
but realizing how powerful that is, not only for just propelling your life and your manifestations and your desires forward, but again, for, kind of creating that positive contagion with everybody else that you encounter.
Yeah, I mean that's really important right now. I think like you're saying, it even counters lack mentality to
Mm-hmm.
do that, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So and it just
Absolutely
so
does.
yeah. So I think we definitely need more of that today. With I think maybe we always talk about the pendulum swinging. It feels like the pendulum has swung and we make jokes about it like in this economy, when you're saying stuff like that and then like when you go out and you're buying your friends drinks or whatever, or or, generously tipping or something of that nature. And you're hearing everyone say around you things like, even if they're joking, in this economy, it contributes to like oh, I have to restrict myself, or if I'm being indulgent in this experience, then I'm not being responsible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of like unsubscribing
Unsubscribe.
from that, that sort of thing. I would say over the last several years, which is just so it's like lifted so much weight off
Hmm.
of me to really to. I mean, it's I really feel like it's different than like sticking my head in the sand, but just like, okay, maybe I will look and acknowledge something once just to kind of see what's going on out there, air quotes, so to speak. But I really don't put much weight into like what other people say the state of the world is.
Right.
Um, because I've found that when you get your state of the world from from being out in the actual world and just interacting with and talking to people rather than what on the internet, the news, whatever, like it's so much better. The quality is so
It's
much
so
better.
much
Like,
better.
okay,
Yeah.
I could hear 20 different experts tell me negative things about the economy, but if I'm choosing to control what I can control and live my life in such a way that I'm making choices that make me feel good, then none of that, I mean, what somebody else thinks of what's going on with the economy and what that should mean for me doesn't matter. It
Right.
doesn't matter because I'm the one controlling my controllables. And then whatever is out of my control is going to be out of my control regardless. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how I'm trying to look at it. And like it does, it sounds weird. I don't know if it's just programming is women. It's a combination of all sorts of things, I'm sure, but it's just so freeing, and really everything in my life has gotten better. Um,
Hmm.
and I don't believe that's to the detriment of anybody else. So
Yeah, I agree. And I think, like you were saying, the media, big or small as it may be, to get noticed, they're seeking out the things that are going to be most attention grabbing for the
which
most
is
part,
negativity. That's just
which
human
is the
nature.
negativity. Yeah.
Pay
I
more
mean, with
attention to the
with
negative.
the exception of like a few like small media things like the Dodo and Upworthy and things like that are seeking positivity, and I love those. But
Yeah, but that's
and I
not. It's
yeah,
pretty.
and I love the small subculture that's been booming out of the past 10 years, or maybe even more with The Secret, but talking about the law of attraction and abundance and intention, these things that are alternatives. And like we were saying, and we talked about in our last episode, don't go standing in the middle of a street and pretend there's not cars coming at you. Like,
at the Conscious Collaboration Podcast, we are proud affiliates of Atapa medical grade red light therapy devices. Red light therapy boasts a long list of clinically proven benefits, many that I and many of my clients have experienced firsthand. You can be sure that you'll be able to train harder, recover faster, and sleep better with Atapa Red Light Therapy. Visit myatapa.com, myatapa.com, or use the link in our Instagram bio to shop with the code COLLAB15, that's COLLAB 15, for a discount on your device.
I saw someone doing. Even if someone believes they're in the breaking the matrix or seeing the matrix, you're going to get hit by a car probably. So it's not to like turn a blind eye. If you do catch some things to have in your awareness, it doesn't mean you need to like multiply it. If you're going to multiply something, let it be something that's, like you're talking about we just talked about several different layers, but giving yourself permission, maybe it's the adverse of not adverse, it's a wrong word, but I dropped in the chat like thinking about boundaries. And how oftentimes when you say the word boundary, it's like restrictive in some way. Like I have a boundary for my time, so it's kind of like restricting to someone else or to me in some way, although important.
But it's not. Boundaries are for you.
Right.
Boundaries are not for other people. Boundaries are for you. And I think that goes very well in this conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think also there's a side, there's different versions of that and what it looks like. Giving yourself a boundary or more time in your day for yourself versus a slave to the clock or to, maybe that's the new paradigm that we're moving into, because, oh man, I just saw, and it was in the US. I'm pretty sure this has to be a US thing, but, and it came from an older generation. And it was I don't know what office somebody was holding, but they were trying to put in place that the American work culture goes to 7 days because a business owner is touching a business every day of the week. And that's such an old way to think, okay, yeah, sure, you might touch your emails every day or if you choose. But the whole slave to the clock thing or needing to do something to institute something of that nature is so restrictive and taking us so far backwards when we're talking about moving into this more feminine, flowy, nurturing, just, that more that more of a mindset versus what we just came out of.
Because it's not just that. We're not just sitting there in our feminine,
right,
floating on a fucking
bonbons,
and expecting everything to happen without effort, but allowing for those phases and protecting the time for those phases then allows us to reapproach when we need to have that drive and that forward movement and that pressure. We're so much more effective.
So much more effective, productive.
Matter. What is the, that's that like definition between productivity and busyness.
Right. Exactly.
Who cares if you're busy? What are the outcomes?
Right.
And whatever it is you're trying to do, I will bet the farm that your outcome is going to be better if you protect that boundary and that ability to be selfish, to be in that feminine and receptive mode, and to really just do what makes you feel good. Sometimes. Sometimes, and to really, even regardless of whether we're talking about masculine or feminine, to really never put yourself in positions where you're just doing things that are to your own detriment, that whatever it is that is to your own detriment in that moment, just to appease, or you perceive to appease someone else, or to not offend them, or that's people pleasing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That really benefits no one. So people want to take.
Yeah. We've come such a long way, I think, in terms of trying to, and it doesn't need to be instituted. I don't know why there needs to be like a blanket, this is the work rhythm or the sacrifice rhythm that you need to contribute to be a good member of society or a corporation or whatever. I don't know why or where that ever came from. I don't want to know, but I think we've done such a good job, male or female, slightly shifting and expanding out of that because boundaries exchange respect. And, if we go back or even further backwards towards forcing people to prove their worth through chain to a grind for no reason, I think about how many people don't find diagnoses for diabetes or MS or, whatever, because they don't have time or they're doing it. They're sacrificing their care for themselves to show worthiness towards and commitment towards a position that isn't guaranteed anymore. So, I mean, I think we've done a good job shifting further away from that and having more autonomy and definitely like, there's more people, finding their really, rather than clocking in and clocking out to a generic place to collect a paycheck, people are aligning to cultures or creating their own services, and that type of thing is changing. And that changes the quote unquote rules that you need to function inside of.
And maybe part of your life design, right? Going back to entrepreneur does not have to mean that you run a business.
Absolutely.
Going back to your life design, maybe the way you generate income does involve just clocking in and clocking out at a regular schmegular company, and that is totally fine. Right. But you have still created the boundaries and the schedules and the systems around your life that allow for that to generate your income, and then you still have that
your hobbies and your health,
ability to maintain your ethical selfishness and your healthy.
Yeah. I mean, I like, like we were talking about in the pre-chat too, there's places that and people that you work with are like, hey, you know what, like take some time off. I want to, let's start rotating time off and that type of thing. And like, that's so healthy and counter to what I'm hearing people trying to bubble back up like these. And I don't mean to like slam a generation or anything, but they're like, we knew this would happen in this era, in this time period, and that people would be clinging even harder to things and systems that are not working anymore. So we're going to see some of that. But I do think there's some benefit in that, trend of delusion in a healthy way, to be able to conceptualize what things could look like outside of that. And, everything that we do for ourselves, like you said, like permission to indulge in things is actually good for everybody. And that multiplies.
And I mean, in another way, you could look at that as being good for others. Like seeing you do that thing that other people are scared to do, to breathe in the proverbial essential oils at your own leisurely pace, right? However you want to apply that in life. Other people seeing you do that gives them permission to do the same.
Yeah. It's I'll have what she's having.
It's a very positive contagion, the way
it is. Yeah, it is. And then, I'll tie it back to our weekend. I feel like when we walked into the dark bar and we were like a ray of sunshine coming in off of the sidewalk, people were like, where are they coming from? Like we had no shortage of friendly people to talk with there. But what I think too is like, we have that shared accountability with each other, to that also when you have people around you that are doing that self-growth work and reflecting on where you're constricting when you could be expanding, and then you are together, you're even more magnetic to awesome opportunities, great conversations, things that grow from that. And then it's just like, what a great, without having to resort to getting down and dirty or being mean to people that you feel are not, you don't have to do it. You just have to exude.
Contrast that with the alternative, which is taking every opportunity to sniff the essential oils and instead, even if it's just in micro doses at a time, shrinking yourself, denying yourself what you would really, want, desire in that moment, in a micro effort to not offend someone else. And then that accumulates over time. And what do you become but resentful, overstressed, overtired, right? This
and you lose who you are.
You're basically the opposite end of the spectrum of healthy, vibrant, happy, good in conversation, open to connect, open to receive, and open to new opportunities. You are opposite of all those things just by taking those little and half of the time, or maybe more, people don't even notice or compute that what you're doing there is in a weird way sort of trying to help them or be nice to them. Like, that's not even what is being.
It's not a manipulation. It's, it's just stepping into the way we would all hope that we could be able to walk around. And I think, it does, it does help to have your conscious collaboration, your friends around you, physically or mentally, to talk through things, but to be able to feel comfortable into expanding versus constricting or controlling yourself to fit into something that you think people want you to be. Which is, like you said, we can't get into other people's brains and how they're walking through the world. They probably have no awareness of you trying to make them feel more comfortable by constricting yourself.
Right. If anything, it probably comes off in some other negative way.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And I hope that AI picks up on it when we're generating our, summary and materials for this, for more discussion, but which is super helpful because I think we get into the flow and we don't pick up some of the things that are real key. But I think, your allegory through the story of inhaling the essential oils. It's so interesting because I intentionally this morning set up my essential oil diffuser with that. I wanted to be able to come back from my busy, it takes me like an hour to drop the kids off at camp in the summer from one to the other. I wanted to be able to walk back into the space and feel like, it's cleared, it's clean, ready for me to do whatever I need to do. And so I think it's metaphorically very good and then also very good as a practice.
Yeah.
There's something to that. I mean, that to the deeper breaths, to the setting your environment, you do it all the time with like your house and the studio and all that with saging things or Palo Santo or whatever. To really feel with all your senses, like that, luxurious or like feeling, like a spa treatment throughout your day.
Yeah. Because if we're anything we're approaching from a more calm outset, like it's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's just going to be better.
Well, I'm inspired. I'm going to continue that with me throughout the week.
Let's everybody go snort a line of lavender. in celebration.
Don't do that.
Follow me for more health tips.
Disclaimer. We're going to have to add a health disclaimer to this. Do not snort
Don't
lavender.
snort essential oil.
Don't spray it on your animals. Don't do that.
Just take a shot.
Consult your doTERRA person or whatever. But no.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Don't do that. That was a joke. It was a joke.
Like, I'm being so unselfish.
Oh boy. Where's our
Florida woman.
CIA are the people that are
Everybody thought she was on bath salts, but it was just a shit ton of lavender.
Oh my God, I walked by someone on bath salts on Saturday night. I've never seen that in person.
Well, that's still a thing.
I guess. I mean, this was definitely not, you know how it is in St. Petersburg. It's like bougie and then complete bath salts. Bougie bath salts. Yes, it was visible. And I, still out there. Be careful. Don't sniff lavender bath salts either.
Yeah, don't drink the Drano.
All right. Well, what do you say we continue this conversation inside of the Conscious Collaboration Collective, our closed and private Facebook group? I didn't get our Virgo Ask a Virgo post up there. But I know you haven't had time, but I've been sending you some reels, but we're not the only ones talking about asking Virgo stuff right now.
But I get to ask Virgo stuff every day.
Me too. I do. And
gotta get you one. Get you a good Virgo or
you a Virgo.
I get a handful of them, but I got one that lives with me. So
yeah, I could rent my Virgo out for stuff like.
Oh, there's a business idea. Rent a Virgo.
Yes. You will be perfected whether you like it or not.
Virgo. Oh, we should probably take this off air because this is a real thing that we could do. Yeah. We could make like a Virgo LLM, like Ask a Virgo AI. Yeah.
Ooh, stay tuned.
Virgo LLM. We do have a unique group of Virgos that we could use to build it.
Yes. Oh, yes. And they would love to feed it with all of their.
One of my Virgos is in tech. Let's do it.
Oh man, let's do it because I think that would be it would be nourishing for them.
Yeah. They could make so many spreadsheets. Think about it.
Oh my gosh, the spreadsheets abound. Yeah. That's the true test of self-worth. If you are in a Virgo spreadsheet, you've made it.
You've made it. Virgos, can you confirm or deny?
Yes, exactly. They will. We'll be hearing from all the Virgos. Yes. All right. Well, this has been fun. Enjoy the rest of your day, Emily, and everybody. Thanks for listening. And thanks for talking, Emily.
Holla at us in 5.
Yes. Talk to you in 5, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment. Mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.